My dear friends, one of the most important lessons strong women learn in life is that not everyone deserves access to their energy. Energy is one of the most valuable resources a person has. Unlike money or possessions, once your emotional energy is drained, it can take a long time to recover. Strong women understand this truth, and that is why they are very careful about the people they keep around them. There are some individuals who constantly bring negativity into every situation. These people may not always appear toxic at first. Sometimes they come across as victims of circumstances, people who are always struggling, always facing problems, and always looking for someone to listen. While supporting others is a beautiful human quality, there is a big difference between helping someone who is trying to grow and constantly absorbing the negativity of someone who refuses to change energy. Draining people often have a pattern. Every conversation with them revolves around complaints, criticism, or drama. They rarely talk about solutions, growth, or positive change. Instead, they repeat the same problems over and over again. After spending time with them, you may notice that you feel emotionally tired, stressed, or even anxious. This is not a coincidence. Emotional energy is contagious. Just like positivity can uplift a room, constant negativity can slowly pull people down. Researcher and author Brené Brown often talks about the importance of emotional boundaries. According to her work on vulnerability, courage, and healthy relationships, strong individuals must learn to recognize when a relationship is no longer healthy for their well-being. Boundaries are not about rejecting people. They are about protecting your mental and emotional health. Strong women do not ignore this feeling when someone repeatedly drains their energy. Instead, they pay attention to it. They understand that their time, focus, and emotional strength should be invested in relationships that bring growth, support, and encouragement. This does not mean they lack compassion. In fact, strong women are often very empathetic, but they also understand that empathy without boundaries can lead to emotional exhaustion. Another common sign of an energy draining person is that they rarely celebrate the success of others. When you achieve something meaningful, instead of congratulating you, they may change the topic, criticize your achievement, or compare it to their own struggles. Over time, this behavior can slowly chip away at confidence. It can make someone feel guilty for being happy or proud of their accomplishments. Strong women recognize this pattern early. They understand that true friends and supportive people celebrate each other's victories. They encourage growth and push one another to become better. When someone constantly tries to turn every positive moment into a negative one, it becomes clear that the relationship is unhealthy. Another important factor is emotional responsibility. Healthy people take responsibility for their emotions and their actions. Energy-draining individuals often do the opposite. They blame others for everything that goes wrong in their lives. Nothing is ever their fault. The world is always against them, and they expect others to constantly rescue them from their problems. Strong women understand that it is not their responsibility to fix everyone's life. Supporting someone is healthy, but carrying someone else's emotional burdens forever is not. When a person refuses to grow, refuses to take responsibility, and repeatedly drains the emotional strength of others, distance becomes necessary. Creating distance from such people is not always easy. Many strong women struggle with guilt when they begin to step back from toxic relationships. Society often teaches women to always be available, always be kind, and always prioritize others. But strength also means recognizing when a relationship is damaging to your mental health. Setting boundaries can be as simple as limiting how often you interact with someone, choosing not to engage in constant negativity, or clearly expressing what kind of behavior you will no longer tolerate. Over time, these boundaries help create healthier emotional space. Strong women also replace draining relationships with empowering ones. They seek friendships and connections with people who bring positivity, honesty, and encouragement into their lives. These are the people who celebrate success, offer support during difficult times, and inspire growth rather than fear or doubt. Life is too short to spend it constantly defending your peace from negativity. Strong women understand that protecting their energy allows them to focus on their goals, their happiness, and their personal growth. By choosing carefully who they allow into their emotional space, they create a life filled with strength, balance, and purpose. In the end, cutting off people who constantly drain your energy is not about cruelty or pride. It is about self-respect. It is about understanding that your peace of mind is valuable. When a woman protects her emotional energy, she becomes stronger, more confident, and more capable of building a life that truly reflects her. One of the most powerful traits of strong women is the ability to create and maintain healthy boundaries. Boundaries are the invisible lines that define what behavior is acceptable and what is not. They protect a person's emotional well-being, time, energy, and self-respect. However, not everyone respects these limits. Some people repeatedly ignore, challenge, or manipulate boundaries, and strong women understand that such relationships cannot remain in their lives. In many cases, people who disrespect boundaries do so in subtle ways. They may pressure you to do things you are uncomfortable with. They might make you feel guilty for saying no, or they may act as if your needs and priorities are less important than theirs. Over time, this behavior becomes emotionally exhausting because it forces you to constantly defend your choices. Strong women understand that saying no is not a weakness. It is a form of self-respect. Yet, toxic individuals often treat boundaries as obstacles rather than signs of healthy communication. They may try to manipulate your kindness by using emotional tactics such as guilt, pressure, or even anger to get their way. For example, imagine someone who constantly asks for favors but is never available when you need help. When you finally say you cannot assist them, they may respond with statements like, "You've changed," or "I thought you cared about me." These words are not simply expressions of disappointment. They are attempts to make you feel guilty so that you ignore your own limits. Researcher and author Brené Brown emphasizes that boundaries are essential for healthy relationships. According to her work on vulnerability and courage, people who truly respect and care about you will also respect your limits. In fact, boundaries help build stronger and more honest connections because they allow both individuals to interact with mutual respect. When someone consistently crosses those boundaries, it reveals a deeper problem. It shows that they prioritize their own desires over your well-being. Over time, this behavior can slowly damage confidence and emotional health. A person may begin to question whether their needs are even important. Strong women refuse to accept this dynamic. They recognize that their needs, time, and emotional space are just as valuable as anyone else's. Instead of constantly adjusting themselves to make others comfortable, they begin to protect their boundaries with clarity and confidence. Another common sign of boundary disrespect is manipulation, disguised as concern. Some people will pretend they know what is best for you, even when you have clearly expressed your choices. They may criticize your decisions, interfere with your plans, or pressure you to follow their advice even when you do not want it. At first, this behavior might seem like care or involvement, but over time it becomes clear that it is actually about control. Healthy relationships allow individuals to make their own decisions and learn from their own experiences. When someone repeatedly tries to control your choices, they are crossing an important boundary. strong women understand that maintaining boundaries requires courage. It is not always easy, especially when the person involved is a friend, family member, or colleague. Sometimes the fear of conflict makes people hesitate to enforce their limits, but avoiding boundaries often leads to resentment, stress, and emotional burnout. Instead of avoiding the issue, strong women communicate clearly. They express their limits in a calm but firm way. For example, they might say, "I can't help with that right now," or "I need time for myself today." These statements may seem simple, but they represent a powerful act of self-respect. When healthy people hear these boundaries, they adjust their behavior. They understand that everyone has limits, responsibilities, and personal needs. However, toxic individuals often react differently. They may become angry, dismissive, or even attempt to punish you emotionally for setting boundaries. This reaction actually reveals an important truth. If someone only values the relationship when they can control you or benefit from you, then the relationship is not balanced. Strong women recognize this pattern and refuse to continue sacrificing their well-being for the comfort of others. Gradually, they begin to distance themselves from people who repeatedly ignore their limits. This does not always mean cutting someone off immediately. Sometimes it means reducing contact, refusing certain requests, or limiting conversations that create pressure or stress. By doing this, strong women create healthier emotional environments. They make space for relationships built on trust, respect, and understanding. These are the connections where both individuals support each other without demanding control. Boundaries also strengthen self-confidence. Each time a woman stands firm in her values and limits, she reinforces the belief that her voice matters. She learns that protecting her time and energy allows her to focus on her goals, passions, and personal growth. Ultimately, strong women understand that *** respect is the foundation of every meaningful relationship. ***. When someone repeatedly ignores boundaries, they are not simply making mistakes, they are showing a lack of respect. Rather than constantly defending themselves, strong women choose peace and distance. In the end, walking away from people who disrespect boundaries is not about pride or stubbornness. It is about understanding that true relationships are built on mutual respect. A strong woman knows that when she protects her boundaries, she is also protecting her dignity, her emotional health, and her future. One of the clearest signs of a toxic relationship is when someone consistently tries to make you feel smaller than you truly are. Strong women recognize this behavior quickly because they understand that the people around them should ** support their growth, not suppress it ***. Unfortunately, there are individuals who feel uncomfortable around confident, ambitious, or independent women. Instead of celebrating their strength, these people attempt to diminish it. This behavior often appears in subtle ways at first. Someone might make jokes about your dreams, question your abilities, or dismiss your achievements as unimportant. They may disguise their comments as humor or advice, but over time the pattern becomes clear. Their words slowly chip away at confidence and create doubt. For example, imagine sharing an exciting goal with someone, perhaps starting a business, building a career, or achieving personal growth. A supportive person would encourage you, offer advice, or simply celebrate your ambition. But someone who tries to make you feel small might respond with comments like, "That's unrealistic," or "People like you don't succeed at things like that." These words may seem small in the moment, but repeated negativity can slowly influence how a person sees themselves. Strong women understand that ** confidence must be protected ***. They realize that the environment and the people around them play a major role in shaping their mindset. When someone constantly plants seeds of doubt, it can become harder to believe in your own abilities. Researcher and author Brené Brown speaks often about courage and authenticity. In her work, She explains that living authentically requires people to show up as their true selves, even when others are uncomfortable with it. Many individuals struggle with this idea because authenticity requires vulnerability, and vulnerability requires strength. People who try to make others feel small are often dealing with their own insecurities. Instead of working on their personal growth, they attempt to lower the confidence of those around them. When someone shines too brightly, it may trigger feelings of jealousy or comparison in others. Rather than being inspired, they may try to dim that light. Strong women recognize this pattern and refuse to accept it. They understand that another person's insecurity should never determine their own value. Instead of shrinking themselves to make others comfortable, they choose to stand firmly in their identity and their goals. Another common tactic used by people who try to make others feel small is constant criticism. Constructive feedback can be helpful when it is offered with respect and genuine intention to help someone grow. However, toxic criticism is different. It focuses only on flaws and ignores strengths or achievements. For instance, if a woman accomplishes something significant, a toxic person might respond by pointing out what she did wrong rather than recognizing what she did right. Over time, this constant negativity can create an environment where success never feels good enough. Strong women understand that healthy relationships include encouragement and recognition. Friends, mentors, and supportive partners celebrate each other's progress. They acknowledge effort and growth rather than focusing only on mistakes. Another sign of someone trying to make you feel small is when they pressure you to lower your standards or ambitions. They may say things like, "Why aim so high?" or "You should be more realistic." While practicality can sometimes be helpful, repeated discouragement often reveals a deeper issue. It shows that the person may feel threatened by your determination. Ambition and confidence are powerful qualities. They inspire growth, creativity, and progress. When someone repeatedly tries to limit these qualities, it becomes clear that the relationship is not supportive. Strong women understand that success often requires surrounding themselves with people who believe in growth and possibility. They seek out friendships and communities where ambition is encouraged rather than criticized. Choosing the right people to be around is one of the most important decisions anyone can make. The people in your environment influence how you think, how you see yourself, and what you believe is possible. Positive relationships create a sense of encouragement and motivation, while toxic relationships create doubt and fear. This is why strong women eventually distance themselves from individuals who consistently make them feel small. This decision is not made out of anger or revenge. Instead, it is made from a place of self-respect and clarity. Walking away from such people allows space for healthier connections to enter your life. When negativity and criticism are removed, confidence has room to grow. Dreams feel more achievable and self-belief becomes stronger. Supportive people do not compete with your light, they help it shine brighter. They celebrate your success, encourage your ambitions, and remind you of your strengths when you face challenges. These are the relationships that create a strong foundation for growth and happiness. In the end, strong women understand an important truth. No one should have the power to make you feel small unless you allow it. By choosing distance from those who diminish their confidence, they protect their sense of worth and their future potential. A strong woman never dims her light to make others comfortable. Instead, she surrounds herself with people who recognize her value, support her journey, and celebrate the strength she brings into the world.